This is your author Mark inviting you for another interesting YouTube discussion. Today's title of the video will be, "Can America be made great again?" Now, can America be made great again? Now that, ladies and gentlemen, is a very interesting question, because there are two answers, in my opinion, to this question. One way looking at it, yes, it can. On the other hand, it's there. The answer to that question is yes, it can be made great again. Okay, but the other question is, there is going to have to be some changes made to the whole entire monetary system, because this economic model that we're in now, it's, in my opinion, because I looked at the data, I looked at the I looked at some other things, and unfortunately, if we want to be great again, then if America wants to be made great again, then there is going to have to be some changes to the economic system, and the reason I say that is because yesterday I was watching the Fox Business network with I was watching Varney and Company, and what I found out is that the housing market today, in order to buy a decent house, well, it's basically, if you want to buy a decent house today, is basically out of reach, because the what do you call it? The inflation is still too high. The housing prices are basically still too high, and a lot of people aren't selling their houses. What they're doing is they're holding on to houses that they already have. So there's not much inventory to buy out there. The other thing, a lot of times we talked about that there's too much, that basically that we, the American people, waste too much money on foreign aid and all that stuff, and unfortunately, that's one of the things that has to stop. Is basically we got no choice but to cut off all foreign aid, because look, the thing is, now the other question that you have to ask yourself in this particular discussion is America becoming a third world nation? Well, in a sense, in what I see now, it's true, because the thing is, we don't have the jobs basically to actually I'm not going to say guarantee employment, but back in the old days, I mean, the thing is, back in the old days, you could have put one job and move right into the other. So there's not that many jobs being created. Yes, they're being created, but it's actually the what do you call the job creation has really slowed down. I mean, yeah, the talking heads on like Fox News and all, they say, oh yeah, there's plenty of jobs, there's plenty of that, there's plenty of this, but unfortunately, the jobs that are being created now are not basically. What I'm trying to say is basically you can't live off of them and maintain a decent what do you call a decent standard of living with the jobs that you have now. Yes, you can get a McDonald's job. Yes, you can work in a fast food industry. But see those. Well, I talked to my friend. He said and he said a very interesting thing, that those jobs that they're creating now is basically for high school kids to make extra money on the weekend, you know. And then the other thing, the other question that we have to ask ourselves right now, like I said, in the whole topic of this discussion will be, can America be great again? And in this case, I'm going to say yes, but there also have to be some major reforms, because, for example, okay, you have to ask yourself. I've been reading the newspapers here and there and online, and a lot of people are saying that in Israel the economy is growing, and then I did some further research, and I found out that their economy is growing because everybody works, everybody contributes to the GDP, to the basically to their economy in Israel. So the thing is, what has to happen in order for America to be great again is everybody has to work, and it doesn't matter if you have a disability or not. Now, those people that have a severe disability that really limits them from work, then yes, they should get all the help that they need. But I'm talking about the people who are disabled but can work, should be able to work. Now, in order for this to happen, there's going to have to be a major reform of the Americans with Disabilities Act. The other thing, basically, in order for people with disabilities to contribute to the GDP, there has to be some reforms of the Americans with Disabilities Act. There has to be a major reform of such organizations as vocational rehab. That's the organization that helps people with disabilities to find jobs. That needs to be reformed. And because I understand why the employers in America are reluctant to hire people with disabilities at this point, because they are afraid of, let's be brutally honest, lawsuits. So that has to change. And the other thing that has to really change, that's not because, look, first of all, nowadays with all the technology that we have today, like I said this many times, with the technology that we have today, ladies and gentlemen, even people with disabilities can work, and they can work, and they can contribute positively to and they can live their version of the American dream. Now, the other thing, that in order to make America great again, we have to do is one more thing. and that is we have to do a major reform of the education system, because now I know that a lot of presidential candidates talk about improving their they're talking about improving the education system. They're saying that as soon as a lot of the presidential candidates say, oh, as soon as I get in that office, we're going to do some major reforms of the education systems, blah blah, education system, blah blah blah. And in order for in my opinion, in order for America to be great again, which it can be, in order for America to be great again, what we have to do is reform our education system in order for it, so that the kids that come out of school today can compete in basically today's job market. Because let's be brutally honest in this discussion. The jobs of yesterday, because our parents, for example, our parents went, they started to work at the age of 16, 17, and 18. Okay, to be honest with you, those jobs that our parents had and our grandparents had are not coming back. Okay, so what we have to do is we have to make our education system more competitive, so that our kids will be ready to face the jobs of tomorrow. Like for example, we should put more emphasis on electronics and other things. So I'm gonna when we talk about reforming the education system, if we reform in my opinion, if we reform the education system, if we make work more accessible for people with disabilities, the you know that and we basically concentrate on the jobs of the future, that then America should be great again. So I'm going to say goodbye for now, and I will see you in my next video.